That's good.
Welcome back to the channel. So it is Tuesday, the Tuesday before Woodstock. I don't know when this video is going to come out, but I just left the shop hauling butt up to Navassa, which is right outside of Leland. I have stumbled across a item on the internet that's up for auction, and I have bought stuff from this auction before. And so we are going to run out here and check it out. I was sitting there this past weekend and I was like, well, let me log into my auction and check what's going on. Basically, it is a website that lists a bunch of auctions within like 50 miles or 100 miles or whatever. I think it's 50 miles of my location, like different auction houses that each house auctions off different items. Auction house is what you call a business that handles the sale of items. Okay, it's not an actual house. Some of y'all don't know it. Some of y'all are like, duh. So there's a place here in Leland that has been selling off a bunch of movie cars that were used in filming years and years and years ago, and they have been auctioning off paint, body supplies, everything, because it was this little dump literally of a place out in Leland. But there's a ton of old cars. So I actually was able, they had sold a Fox body, which I did look at online, but I didn't pull the trigger on it because I don't know, I should have bought both of the Fox bodies that were up and parted them out, but I did not. Anyways, there are people buying them. I don't know who the buyer is. I don't know if the buyer is Cape Fear Pick and Pull or if the buyer is someone else who's selling them to Cape Fear Pick and Pull. But somebody did purchase one of the Fox bodies and sold it to Cape Fear Pick and Pull, and we were able to get a tip yesterday on Monday about the Fox body being into Pick and Pull. And I was able to go out there and get all of the trim off of it, the windshield trim, the back window trim, the rear headliner trim, the side headliner trim on the side of the car, inside the car, for Randy's Fox body. He's missing a couple pieces of trim from taking things apart, moving around, and he's missing the headliner trim. So every pass that he makes, the headliner actually slides back in the back of the car, and then he has to get in there and push it back forward. So we now have the piece where this weekend in Darlington we can clip it back in. So that was one of the cars that they sold out here, and when I logged in the other day to check, they had like 5 new cars listed for the upcoming auction, and there was a Maverick on there. I think it's either a 70 or 71, I can't remember. But it was like not up for sale for 13 days is what it said, that, you know, that auction is not going off for 13 days. So I went ahead and threw a pre-bid on it, just for safety, because I didn't want to get tied up with life and completely forget, you know. So I went ahead and threw a minimum pre-bid on it, and, you know, said, well, I'm going to hit the dude up I had bought from him before and see if I can get out there to check the car out before auction. Now, when the auction happens, it will be online auction, and it will also be a live auction. So due to this being a Maverick, if it is in good shape, I will probably go to the live auction and try to bid it live for safety reasons. When you're dealing with online auctions, you have to deal with computer glitches, internet glitches, stuff like that. Sometimes it can cost you a car. On the business side, when I'm buying my wrecks, I don't really care a lot of times if I get the car or not. I would like to get a car, but it's not like it's personal. Trying to buy a diesel truck or a Maverick is personal. I really want to get the vehicle. So if this thing checks out, we're going to go out here and check it out, and if it checks out, we will try to come back out here during the live sale. When I spoke to him yesterday, he said that yes, there was 13 days before it was up for auction, but that he probably was going to stack another 10 days on top of that 13, because they're literally about to drag like 80 cars out of the woods. Now they've already sold probably 100 to 200 cars, older cars, all kinds of stuff. I did see like a Rambler that was on there I put on my watch list, but I really don't know the value on the Ramblers. I know people want them, and I don't know the years that they want, so probably not going to step out my comfort zone and mess with stuff like that. But there's been Novas, Ramblers, all kinds of different, just cars that you hear about. I haven't seen no Chevelles or anything like that, but there was some Cutlasses, stuff like that. So I'm hoping this thing checks out good. All we're looking for is for the 2 quarter panels to be in decent shape. I'm okay with some lower rot on the lower side, as they do have. You can get patch panels, but I kind of want the around the windshields to be in decent shape. The roof to be in decent shape. This thing looks like it's actually a vinyl top, so the chances of it being rusted underneath are actually pretty high. But I hope it's not. Stoked about it being a vinyl top, because I'd love to build another car and it be a vinyl top car. I don't know what color, but some color with a vinyl top. We're looking for another body, another shell that we can basically cut up and put maybe a 25-5 cage in it, cut everything out of it that we can just about for drop weight. Or we would do an 850 cage, since a lot of these tracks around here are outlaw tracks, so you don't really have to be that, but maybe like an 850 cage with a funny car cage, just to add it a little bit, maybe, or we'll start it, what's past the 850, I think like 10 something. I don't even want to make something up because I don't remember the technical stuff, but maybe we would go past the 850 and up and put a minimum of a funny car cage in something like this, and hopefully do aluminum floor. So I don't care if the floors are rotted out. I'm not too worried about the rockers, because I'd love to cut the rockers out to drop weight and put the cage bars down there. And the biggest thing is I would love to keep the shock tower hats on the next car that I build. I would like to cut the shock tower sides all out of it and tube the front end, but I want the factory location shock tower hats to still be in there. That way I can run a Fox body spindle mount with a Fox body cane. Remember, they do make kits for the Mavericks now that you can put all that in there. I've learned a lot since I built mine. So let's get out here, see what we got, check this out, and hope that this car, we can work with this car. All right, there she is. So she's got some rust. It has some quarter panel damage. The quarter panel is actually buckled back where it looks like it was hit in the rear. All the extensions are still there, which is pretty cool. And these feel like the plastic ones, which I actually like. They might be metal. The quarters are definitely rusted out and need to be replaced. That's not the end of the world. You got some rot up there. It's not the end of the world. It's a decent scrap car. Fortunately, we don't need much left of it. We don't need much, but we would definitely probably have to cut all this stuff out and replace it. But I mean, that's not bad. We'd be cutting all the inner structure out anyway for weight, to get rid of some weight out of the car. All around up here is decent. It's got the chrome trim still on it for the vinyl top. All around the windows back here are decent. The interior is just absolutely shot. You can see how it's had standing water in the floorboard for a long time. The all of the seals are rotted out, which it's not the end of the world for me. We can easily patch this or just get rid of it. Would love to just patch this solid, because on the Mavericks anyway, there's a channel right here that would hold water, so it'd be nice to just patch that solid with no lip. So that's not a deal breaker. The dash is there, lower dash, upper dash, so that's good. Need that dash pad, obviously we can replace. Seats are all trash, headliner's trash, we don't need none of that. All the trims there, window trims are there. They would be good for somebody else. all the trim is here. It just would need to be painted. Doors are completely rusted all out of it, so the backs of the doors are rusted, the fronts of the doors are rusted out, but we don't necessarily need the doors either, because we would be putting fiberglass doors on this car. The fenders are rusted out, unfortunately. The front bumper looks usable, even though I would not use it. But it looks like it's enough there solid where you could sand it down and paint it. It is a small bumper car, so that's valuable. The lower valence is damaged, but it could be hammered out. And the grill is an important item to me, and it is there, not broke. So the grill is important. Headlight trim has some damage on it. I can replace them, but the grill is something I wanted. You know, the hood I don't care about. It would be going fiberglass. Fenders I don't necessarily care about. I can get aftermarket fenders or go fiberglass with them. And the cowl, you know, would be getting all cut out. So there is some rust up here around the top of the window, you know, edge. But again, we can remake all these pieces and cut weight at the same time. So I'll be cutting all that out. That door has been wrecked. So sadly, that door does not look that bad, but that's the one that's wrecked. So the Maverick trims are on it, which emblems are on it, which is cool. So it's cool that these trims are here because these are they're getting harder to find, you know, and all this stuff can be painted. So the deck lid also is here. It doesn't appear to be rusted out at all, which is cool because I would love to use the deck lid, but I would want to cut some weight out of the deck lid. So if it is rusted on the inside, then I would want to cut it out. So the taillight panel is rusted through all right here, and then rusted through all right here. But again, not a big deal. We cut the taillight panel out and switch to a different car's taillight panel. With the Mavericks, there's all kinds of options. So that taillight is not usable. That taillight is. We can rebuild that taillight, but we would need this taillight. But if we change the panels, we'd be changing all that anyway. So can't see nothing else really under the car. Doesn't look terrible. Back bumper, unfortunately, has been hit, squishing the quarter panels in, so it's not salvageable. But all the glass is there too, and the glass is not cracked, which is absolutely amazing if it will clean up, because there's a lot of people out there that need the glass out of these things. So this glass up here does look like it may be damaged, but yeah, the expiration on the last inspection was in '92. So that's it. But we'll keep an eye on this thing and hopefully we can get it. I really want what I went out there for. And I want it for cheap, obviously. So fingers crossed that we get it. This is going to be a long next week or so, waiting for this thing to come up for sale, and hope that nobody's willing to pay more than me. So hopefully they don't, because you ain't getting much with a lot of these of what's left on the bone. I mean, you've got to really want the car for the car itself, and not you know, not be necessarily trying to think you're just going to get a car and clean it up and paint it and put it back on the road. A light restoration. A lot of these have major metal work needed, major body work, major amounts of rot and rust. So if you're not a body guy or restoration guy, a lot of these are not for your average DIY guy. So like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will catch y'all on the next one. I hope